Meta's now down modestly, 0.6%. And while I was there at Menlo Park yesterday, there was a notable move higher the moment that Orion was unveiled. Why did investors react that way?
Sure. Hi, Ed. Good to see you. So, Orion was pretty interesting to see. We're getting sort of closer and closer to the Minority Report moment, I think, in real life. At least that's what it seemed like, just with the combination of the glasses as well as the wristband that can control or sense a lot of the movements in terms of how you interact with it. So it was a really interesting time to see Meta and just their overall investments into AI and AR and just all the synergies you're seeing across the landscape.
You and I have discussed the markets so often, and we've often reflected that like one session is just not worth dwelling on often. But it is an interesting moment right now. Micron continues to push higher. There's evidence that it's broad. It's not just GPUs, but high bandwidth memory as well. There's evidence in the forecast in sales. What does that tell you? You lead research at Wealth Enhancement Group. So how are you adjusting your model?
Sure. So, I think with the memory side of things, they were going through an inventory cycle. The NAND side of things has been a lot softer over the last 2 years. And so now you're starting to see a little bit of a recovery on the NAND side. And then you are seeing this growth vehicle with high bandwidth memory. And so not only are you seeing it impact Micron, but Lam Research is a maker of a lot of the equipment that is for high bandwidth memory. And so you're seeing that potential growth in 2025, and that can continue beyond 2025 as well.
The market's kind of got that trifecta this morning: economic data, central bank noise, and then earnings. Right now, for the technology investor, how do you apportion your focus to each of those?
Sure. So I think with technology, we have to take a very long-term view. I mean, at least that's what we do here at Wealth Enhancement Group. Tech is going to be a part of every investor's sort of portfolio, but you balance it out with some of the more cyclical areas of the market in which we can see strength in the overall economy, and those areas that are also sensitive to the direction of interest rates, in which the Fed does control a lot of that. So, a very diversified portfolio is something that we do advocate for. But, I think technology plays a big lead in that.
Right now, what is the direction of travel for technology for the rest of this year? I'm asking you to give me your crystal ball prediction.
Because my crystal ball is always so clear.
It is.
In terms for the rest of the year, I think things can be choppy, but I think what you want to always lean into is, what is going to help you sleep at night? And what are the quality companies that allow for your portfolio to continue to grow, whether it's in technology or not? And I think that's where, we want to make sure that regardless of what the macro environment gives us, we're, invested in companies that have high quality and strong growth prospects in the future.
Right now, all our focus is on US names and the activities here. But do you ever look further afield, Ayako, to Europe or to Asia?
Absolutely. I think having a diverse portfolio across the globe is something that we, again, advocate for, simply because you never know when things turn around. And, one of the major drivers is the direction of the U.S. dollar. And, we think that the U.S. dollar can weaken a little bit here, just given the direction of interest rates. And international and emerging market stocks can benefit. And again, their valuations are very attractive relative to U.S. markets.
We expect to hear from the prosecutors in the indictment of New York Mayor Eric Adams very soon. We may have to move to that. But before we lose you, I want to ask you something that other investors are now asking themselves. How important is it for you to get hands-on with technology? If you think about what Meta showed us yesterday, and I did with Orion, with Ray-Ban Meta, but also Llama using Meta AI on device, is that something that informs your investment thesis by actually using the tech?
I think both using it and seeing others use it and engage with it, because it's not just myself, but people across all age groups and demographics. I want to see exactly how people are engaging with the technology, and younger people are much more adapt to adopting some of the technology. But then you also want to see how can older people adapt to it as well, and integrate it into their lives, because that is going to provide a larger sort of market and better growth over the long term.